Hey everybody, Gagan here. Tonight's video is about anthology movies. If you don't know what an anthology is, a movie with little stories in it. So it's basically a big movie with little movies in it. So yeah, that's what an anthology is. I hope you like this video. Sit back, relax, and let me begin. The first one is ABCs of Death. It came out in 2012, and I did not put the director because there's 26 directors. Basically, this movie is about each alphabet, and each alphabet represents a type of death, and each alphabet has its own director. So yeah, that's why they put down the directors, because I wasn't gonna write 26 directors. The next one is Body Bags. It came out in 1993. The directors are John Carpenter and Toby Hooper. I don't know why I said Cooper. Hooper. This movie is set in a morgue, and the storyteller tells you how each of the person in the morgue, passed away. And fun fact, the storyteller in the movie is John Carpenter himself. The next one is Creepshow. It came out in 1982. The director is George A. Romero. For those who have seen this movie, you should remember it. This one has the meteorite with the farmer. The farmer gets the meteorite goo on him, and it's like a living organism, and it's like moss. And the farmer was played by Stephen King. And also the germaphobe with the white apartment, everything's white, and the giant cockroaches. I hate those. Where I'm at, we call them palmetto bugs, and I have a phobia of those things. The next one is called Dead Time Stories. It came out in 1986. The director is Jeffrey Delman. This movie is basically twisted versions of bedtime stories, like fairy tales. I think one segment is Hansel and Gretel, and another one I think is Little Red Riding Hood is in there. And there's always a twist. That's why it's called Dead Time Stories. The next one is Twilight Zone, the movie. It came out in 1983. The directors are John Landis, Steven Spielberg, Joe Dante, and George Miller. This is based off of the old 60s black and white TV show, The Twilight Zone. In fact, they used the last segment of this movie. They actually took it from an episode of the TV show itself, and that one is with the guy in the airplane and the gremlin that tries to take the plane down, and he's the only one who can see it. And also, there was a big hoopla about this movie because I think it's the first segment or the second segment. People passed away while making this movie. The next one is From Beyond the Grave. It came out in 1974. The director is Kevin Connor. I think this is set in a cemetery, and each story is about each tombstone. The next one is Grim Prairie Tales. It came out in 1990, and the director is Wayne Coe. This is set like in a campfire uh, setting, and they tell each story. The next one is Holidays. It came out in 2016, and the directors are Kevin Smith, and I put others because this movie, like the title, is each segment is a holiday, and each holiday have its own director. Like Christmas, Easter, New Year's is one, Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day. This movie, in my opinion, it has some good segments and some bad segments. I mean, there's a lot of people that like each holiday. With me, no. I think St. Patrick's Day was kind of silly, in my opinion. Christmas was okay. New Year's, that was a mind twist. But you gotta watch this movie by yourself if you haven't watched it. I do recommend this movie. But yeah, just keep in mind each segment is a holiday with its own director. The next one is Trilogy of Terror. It came out in 1975. The directors are Richard Matheson and William F. Nolan. I love this movie. I love this movie. I love this movie. It's one of my favorites. For those who have seen it, you should know what I'm talking about. African fetish doll. If you the ones don't know what I'm talking about, just watch it. It's an awesome movie. I love this movie, and fun fact, there is a sequel to Trilogy of Terror, which is called Trilogy of Terror 2. It has the little African fetish doll in there. It's an awesome movie. It's cheesy, but it is good. The next one is Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. It came out in 1990, and the director is John Harrison. This is the main plot is this witch kidnapped this little boy. She was going to yum 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 yum. YouTube. I gotta censor my words. But he found her storybook, and he's like, before you do what you're gonna do, can you tell me a story out of your storybook? And she's like, okay, if you must, and each story is a segment. This is pretty good. I like this movie. The next one is A Christmas Horror Story. It came out in 2015. The directors are Grant Harvey, Stephen Hoban, and Brett Sullivan. The main plot is this DJ at Christmas doing his radio show, and he tells some Christmas stories. And fun fact, the DJ in the movie is played by William Shatner. I love this movie. It is a good movie. It is a good Christmas horror movie. I recommend it. The last segment, it makes me sad. Every time I watch it, it just makes me sad. If you haven't watched it and you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And for the ones who have watched this movie, you know what I'm talking about. The next one is Little Deaths. It came out in 2011. The directors are Sean Hogan, Andrew Parkinson, and Simon Rumley. Basically, this movie, to sum it up, it's been a while since I've seen this movie. It's just about 5 violence and bum chicka wow wow, getting it on. That's seriously, that's what this movie is about. Each segment, it has that in there. The next one is The Monster Club. It came out in 1981. The director is Roy Ward Baker. This is a good 80s cheesy horror movie. I wouldn't call it even a horror movie, but it is considered a horror movie. And I'm sorry if you hear my son in the background. It's got Vincent Price in it. It's got Peter Cushing. I think it's got Christopher Lee in it. It's been years since I've seen this movie. These guys goes to this club, which is called the Monster Club because it's run by monsters. It's monsters that are customers, and they tell their stories. Each of them tells a story. It's a good movie. The next one is Night Gallery. It came out in, I don't know why I put 1969. That's gotta be wrong. The directors are Boris Siegel, Steven Spielberg, and Barry Shear. This is basically the movie version of the old, was it 60s or 70s TV show Night Gallery. Basically, the host of the old TV show was Rod Sterling, the same host for the original Twilight Zone. Each painting represents a segment. The next one is Cat's Eye. It came out in 1985, and the director is Louis Teague. This is a cute anthology horror movie. This is a cute one. Basically, the plot is this cat is in every segment. For some reason, it's always involved. That's why it's called Cat's Eye. If you have watched this movie, you should know why I mentioned the no smoking segment. That's all I gotta say. If you have watched this movie, you know what I'm talking about. The next one is Patient 7. It came out in 2016. The director is Donnie Draven, which this movie is inspired by the 1972 movie Asylum. Basically, this movie is set in this mental ward, and each patient tells their story. I think it's like how they got there. The next one is Tales from the Hood. It came out in 1995. The director is Rusty Cundiff. This is a good cheesy 90s horror movie. Basically, the plot is these gangsters goes to this funeral home. The funeral director shows them each of his clients, if you know what I'm talking about, and how they passed away. And there's a major twist in this movie. It is a good movie. I recommend this movie. The next one is Three Extremities. It came out in 2004. The directors are Fruit Chang, Park Chan-wook, and Takashi Miike. And if you heard of Takashi Miike, you should know him because he is the director of Audition and Ichi the Killer. I do not recommend this movie if you have a very weak stomach. Fun fact, one of the segments in this movie got its own movie. The next one is Southbound. It came out in 2015. The directors are Radio Silence and others. And that's why I put others, because it's multiple directors. Yes, and that's one of the directors' name is Radio Silence. I giggled when I saw that. Basically, this movie is set on this desert highway don't start singing Hotel California. No, I'm serious. This is a little bloody, but it's pretty good. Uh, so yeah, this movie is pretty good. If you're very squeamish with blood, do not watch this movie. The next one is Tales from the Crypt, the movie. It came out in 1972. The director is Freddie Francis. This is the movie This movie came out before the HBO TV show Tales from the Crypt. Which technically they got this from this movie, but they didn't, because this is basically, the TV show is basically based off the comics of Tales from the Crypt, which that's what the title they got from this movie. And this movie, the main plot is these rich people goes to this what do they call it? Cemetery, where they have their own little buildings, and they meet the crypt keeper. And no, he don't look like a skeleton, he looks like a regular man. And the crypt keeper tells them each of their stories, like, I know how you got here, why you here, and I'm gonna tell you why. The next one is Trick or Treat. It came out in 2007. The director is Michael Daughtry. I love this movie. I love this movie. I love this movie. The plot is set on Halloween, and the Halloween guardian name is Sam. It looks like a child, but he's not a child. Okay, you just gotta remember that. If you watch this movie, it's not a child. And you got to follow the rules of Halloween. If not, bad things can happen. That's the only thing I can say. But this is really good. I love this movie. In fact, I got a Sam Funko Pop, and I got a Trick or Treat cup. I love this movie. The next one is VHS. It came out in 2012. One of the directors is Adam Wingard. The plot is these guys are hired to break into this house to get something. They find these VHS tapes, and they decided to watch these tapes, and each tape is a segment. And there is a whole bunch of sequels to this movie. And no, I was not going to list them all. The next one is Where the Dead Go to Die. It came out in 2012. The director is James Creamer. Excuse me. Do not watch this movie. I watched this movie once and I regretted it. It is disgusting. It is vile. This movie should have never been made. That's all I'm gonna say. The next one is XX. It came out in 2017, and the directors are Annie Clark and others. Basically, it's like the title, XX, women's chromosomes. Each director is a woman. That's what you get the title. And each segment involves a woman. This movie is weird as all get out. Okay, especially the first segment. If anybody has seen XX, tell me, am I wrong? Did that segment made any sense? Because it surely did not. Because I watched this movie a couple times, tried to understand it. I even Wikipedia to see if Wikipedia would tell me what is that segment about, and it didn't. It just tells me what happened. I still don't understand it. The next one is Creepshow 2. It came out in 1987, and the director is Michael Gornick. This is a sequel to Creepshow. I love this movie too. I got 1 and 2 on DVD. And believe it or not, there is a third one. I think it came out in 2014. Skip the third one because it's stupid as all get out. It's more of a comedy. They don't take anything serious, but 1 and 2, watch. If you haven't watched, skip the third one. One segment is the raft. These teenagers, quote unquote, because you can tell they look like they're in their 30s, goes to this lake on break, and they see this little raft. They go on this raft and they're trapped. For the ones who have seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. And the last one is Asylum. It came out in 1972, and the director is Roy Ward Baker, the same director of The Monster Club. And yeah, basically this is set in an asylum, because back then they called them asylum, not psych wards or mental hospital. They said asylum. Basically it's like Patient 7, because Patient 7 is inspired by this movie. Was inspired by this movie. Each patient tells a story. Well, that's it on my list. Okay, for the ones I recommend, I'm gonna kind of say yay or nay in my opinion. Okay, ABCs of Death, I would say yay if you can stand blood and some subject matters, because some of them is very disturbing and gruesome and warped. Body Bags, yes. Creepshow, yes. Dead Time Stories, yes. Twilight Zone, the movie, yes. From Beyond the Grave, yeah. Grim Prairie Tales, yeah. Holidays, yeah. Trilogy of Terror, double yes. And also Trilogy of Terror 2, yes. Tales from the Dark Side of the movie, yes. A Christmas horror story, yes. Just the last segment is sad. Just letting you know. Little deaths, no, not really. The Monster Club, yes. The Night Gallery, yes. Cat's Eye, yes. Patient 7, yeah, why not? Tales from the Hood, yes. Three Extremities, no. Southbound, yes. Trick or Treat, yes. VHS, some of the segments is pretty good, some is not, so it's a maybe. Where the Dead Go to Die, triple a million, no. XX, if you want to feel confused, yeah. Creepshow 2, yes. Asylum, yeah. So yeah, that's my yes and no in my opinion of watching these movies. I mean, you can watch them all. I don't give a crap. I'm not forcing you to listen to me. This is just my opinion. Yeah. There is more anthology horror movies out there. I did not list the TV shows of anthology, and anthology TV shows is your original Twilight Zone, the original Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt. Oh, excuse me. Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. Yeah, so American Horror Story. Well, American Horror Story is really not anthology because each season is its own thing. So, well, American Horror Stories that is considered an anthology TV show. See, I didn't even list every single anthology horror movie out there, and I didn't list the TV shows because I got tired writing. Because in fact, I try to make this an ABCs of it, like I did with my video of ABCs of disturbing horror movies. If you haven't seen that video, please go watch it. It made pretty good views, over 100 views. I think that's awesome. So yeah. Well, that was a long list. And like I said, I didn't write every single horror anthology horror movie out there because I have not seen them all. Okay? I only wrote down the ones I have seen. And this is just my opinion of the ones I said yay or no to. I mean, if you want to watch every single movie that I mentioned, write each movie title down and go search it and go find it. It's on it should be on a bunch of free websites and movie apps out there. Because in fact, I watch my movies on Cinema HD. It's free, 100% free. You don't pay nothing, and you can watch just about any type of movie out there and TV show. It has even a list of Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu on there. I don't have to pay a jack squat to watch any TV shows or movies anymore. I can just watch them on my app. It has cartoons from the freaking 80s on there. It has cartoons from the 60s on there. TV shows from the 60s. Movies from the 60s. They got movies from the 30s on there. I love Cinema HD. But yeah. But if you pay for your streaming service, good for you. I don't. Mine is free. It's a free app. But yeah, that's my list. If you have seen any of these anthology movies, please let me know in a comment. And if you have seen any of these movies, tell me which ones you liked and did not like. So I hope y'all liked the video. Give it a thumbs up, a like. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm not forcing you. Leave a comment. Share this video. I would appreciate it. And I hope everyone has a blessed night. Until next time.